Odun jí. Mo ní kó jí. Tẹ́já bá jí ní wá jí torítorí. Odun mo ní kó jí o. Bẹ́kùté bá jí ní sá á jí ní tiyetiye. Odun mo ní kó jí. Bẹ́yẹ bá jí lórí ìtẹ́ á jí taratara. Odun mo ní kó jí o. Ó ṣọkùnrin ni. Bó ṣobìnrin ló ṣekú pa ọ́. Mo ní kó jí kó lọ pọ̀ nítọ̀hún. Ẹni pagúnukún ò ní kọ́dún. Ẹni pàkàlàmàkòkò ní kóṣù mẹ́fà. Ẹni pa katakata ò ní kàtà. Odun mo ní kó jí. Odun mo ní kó jí o.
How far, my people, and welcome back to Naija Films Recap. Today, we're diving deep into a story that starts with tears at a wedding and ends in tragedy, proving that some traditions can become chains, and forbidden love often carries a deadly price. We're talking about Farmer's Bride, a movie that explores the harsh realities of forced marriage, the desperation for freedom, and the dark path people walk when love turns into obsession and murder. This story will take you from a vibrant village celebration to the chilling silence of betrayal and death. Get ready for a tale about a young woman trapped, a kind old man who deserved better, a charismatic nephew who complicates everything, and a powerful herbalist who suspects the truth. This is a journey into the heart of tradition, love, and the devastating consequences of desperate choices. Grab your snacks, settle in, and let's unravel the tragic story of the Farmer's Bride. The movie opens on what should be the happiest day of a young woman's life, but for Funmi, it's a day drenched in sorrow. We find her weeping in her room, her wedding attire a stark contrast to her despair. Her mother enters, not with comforting words, but with impatience. "Funmi, we are waiting for you," she says sharply. "Crying will only wash away your makeup. Your father has already accepted the wine. This is just ceremony now." Funmi pleads, her voice choked with tears. "Please, Mama, don't let me marry him." But her mother dismisses her pleas as foolish talk. Funmi tries again. "Chase them away. I want to go to school. I can't marry a man I don't know. I don't love him. He's too old." Her mother scoffs at the idea of education, pointing to the unmarried, childless village teacher, Miss Labak, as a cautionary tale. "You want to become like Miss Labak? A joke? Unmarried at 30 plus without even a bastard. Over my dead body." She reminds Funmi that her father already gave her 2 years after she turned 18 to find love, a luxury the mother herself never had. The groom, Mr. Odun, is presented as a catch. He does not have a wife, no children. He's as good as new. More importantly, Mr. Odun has gifted the family valuable land, securing the future of Funmi's younger brother. Funmi's fate is sealed. She is a transaction, a bride price paid in land. With no other choice, Funmi is veiled and led out. We see the wedding ceremony, the revealing of the bride, and the forced celebration. Mr. Odun, a kind-faced, older man, beams with happiness, oblivious to his young wife's misery. His sister-in-law, Morenike, called Moren, a respected town herbalist and a widow herself, dances joyfully alongside him. Funmi forces a smile, trapped in a tradition that feels like a prison sentence. That night, the awkwardness intensifies. Odun approaches his new wife, eager for intimacy, but but Funmi stands rigid, unresponsive. She offers no affection, no reciprocation. Frustrated, but perhaps resigned, she eventually removes her own clothes, gets onto the bed, and lies there passively. "Just do what you want," she says, her voice flat, devoid of emotion. It's a heartbreaking start to a marriage built on obligation, not love. The next morning, Moreneke is already in their kitchen, a constant, almost invasive presence. She offers Funmi a herbal concoction. "Drink it," she urges. "It's very good for body pains, and once this herb enters your body, you will conceive easily." The word conceive jolts Funmi. She drops the cup, horrified. "I'm not ready for pregnancy." Morenike gently reminds her, "Your husband is not a young man anymore, and I'm sure making children will be paramount." Funmi retorts, annoyed by Morenike's constant presence. "Well, getting pregnant will be very difficult, since you are always showing up anytime to the house unannounced." Morenike smiles cryptically. "Ah, see? Odun is the father of the farm. You are the mother for now, but I, Morenike, I'm just a tree in the field, a very important tree." She implies her deep roots in Odun's life, suggesting Funmi needs to establish her own place before Morenike will wither away. Just then, Odun enters, asking who is withering away. Morenike laughs it off, but Funmi, feeling stifled, walks out, refusing food. The dynamics are clear. Funmi is an outsider, and Morenike holds a significant, almost maternal influence over Odun. Funmi soon discovers her husband isn't just a farmer. He's the heart of the village. One evening, she finds their living room filled with villagers, men, women, and children. They've come to pay respects and celebrate the marriage. Odun, affectionately called Baba Odun, enters with his beloved talking drum. The children clamor for a story. Odun playfully tells them they still owe him for the last one, highlighting his warm, grandfatherly relationship with the community. He turns to Funmi, asking teasingly, "Wife, should I give them what they want? Or should you and I go into the bedroom for some?" Funmi, still detached, suggests he tell them his story. Then, switching pointedly to English so the villagers won't fully understand, she mocks their union. "By all means, my husband, tell them how we met. How I was a young, beautiful maiden coming from the stream, and you, a kind old man that everybody loves." She subtly emphasizes his age and the fact that they never courted. A young girl in the crowd, Banke, who understands English, catches the hidden barbs. Odun, catching the insult but choosing grace, replies in English, "Ah, we met at the village square. That was the first time I saw you," revealing he had admired her from afar. He then skillfully diffuses the awkwardness by playing his talking drum, turning the gathering into a lively dance party. Later, in their bedroom, Funmi confronts Odun. "When I was forced to marry you, I thought I was coming to marry a farmer. I never knew I was marrying the village actor," she says bitterly. She complains about the constant stream of visitors, Morenike's herbs marking her territory, and Odun being the town jester. Odun listens patiently. "Morenike is my family," he says gently. Funmi lashes out, "Oh, my mother warned me. She said I would get angry, complain, and then you will beat me black and blue to put me in my place and remind me that I am now your wife, a property." Odun is genuinely shocked. "Beat you? God forbid. Since I was born, I have never hit a woman, and definitely not you." He pleads with her, "Funmi, see, I know you think I am old and ugly. Just give me a chance to love you. to spend what is left of my life to prove to you that I am the man you deserve. Funmi clarifies, I never said you were ugly. I said you were old. This innocent correction, however, hits a nerve. The kind farmer, in a slightly comical attempt to please his young wife, asks Morenike to dye his grey hair black, hoping to appear younger. Morenike complies, but admits she preferred the grey, saying the black makes him look like a schoolboy. One evening, Funmi is setting the table for dinner, while Odun fiddles with his radio. Suddenly, there's a knock at the door. Funmi opens it, and her life changes irrevocably. Standing there is a handsome young man. That's my son, Femi, Morenike exclaims, rushing to embrace him. Femi, Morenike's son and Odun's nephew, has just returned from university in Lagos. He lifts his mother, spinning her around joyfully, greets his uncle warmly, and then his eyes land on Funmi. She stands frozen, captivated by the newcomer, unaware he is the spark that will ignite a devastating fire. At dinner, the family dynamic shifts. Femi is charismatic and clashes playfully with his mother. He drops a bombshell. He is not returning to school. I'm not doing well, he confesses. I put all my effort, yet I keep failing. Morenike is distraught. You are the first in our family to go to university. Please don't shame me. What will people say? She offers him memory-boosting herbs. But Femi is resolute. He wants to follow in his late father's footsteps and become a woodcarver. Funmi watches this exchange, perhaps seeing in Femi the defiance she couldn't muster for herself. Femi storms out, leaving his mother in tears. Femi sets up shop in his late father's workshop. Banke, the young girl from the party, who understood Funmi's English insults, finds him there. It's clear they have a history. What did you bring for me? She asks, playfully. Femi gifts her a camera and a fashion magazine, promising she'll be a cover model one day. They share a sweet kiss, establishing their youthful romance. Soon after, Femi encounters Funmi bathing alone at the stream. The awkwardness is thick, but Femi tries to bridge the gap, apologizing for the dinner scene. As he walks out of the water, shirtless and dripping, Funmi is visibly flustered by his physique. He jokes about Morenike and Odun's close relationship, explaining their shared grief bonded them. Funmi, unable to maintain eye contact, hastily excuses herself. Morenike, sensing Funmi's continued detachment, attempts to bond with her, inviting her to her shrine, her herbalist workspace. She explains the properties of various plants, teaching Funmi about healing herbs. Then she picks up a particularly potent one. This one is very powerful, Morenike warns. It is used to ward off evil spirits. It is so powerful that a drop of it can end a human's heart. Funmi listens intently, her mind perhaps already latching onto this deadly information. Femi interrupts, sent by his mother to chop wood, highlighting the ongoing tension between them. That evening, as the villagers dance to Odun's drum again, Femi finds Funmi, watching from the shadows. He breaks the ice, suggesting they should be friends rather than enemies, since he'll be around for a while. I see your eyes, he says perceptively. I know you don't like how close those two are. It's better to have a young friend like me. He playfully asks if he should go back to calling her auntie. And finally, Funmi smiles. Seeing her smile, Femi presses his advantage, asking her to meet him later. Hesitantly, she agrees. They meet in Femi's workshop, surrounded by his carvings. The atmosphere is charged. Funmi asks about his passion for carving, and he explains it makes him feel closer to his late father. She moves closer, her voice dropping sensually. "What are you thinking?" Femi, drawn in, pulls her close. The tension breaks, and they share a passionate kiss. Overwhelmed, Funmi pulls away and runs out. Later that night, Femi finds her outside. "Do you want to talk about it?" he asks. Funmi tries to dismiss the kiss, but Femi presses. "Why did you do it?" she asks, reminding him, "I'm your uncle's wife." Femi tries to frame it as a spontaneous moment that doesn't have to happen again. But Funmi confesses the terrifying truth. "That's the problem for me. I don't want it to happen again. You're making me feel things I know are very wrong, dirty, and stupid." She has fallen for him hard. She admits her fear lies in whether he feels the same. Femi moves closer, the space between them electric. He doesn't need to say the words. They kiss again, deeply, heedless of the danger. "Tomorrow evening, come to my workshop," he whispers before they part. The next evening, the workshop becomes their secret sanctuary. Without hesitation, they give in to their desires. It's passionate, desperate, and utterly forbidden. This marks the beginning of a dangerous, addictive affair. They steal moments whenever they can, even flirting subtly across the dinner table, under Odun and Moreniki's oblivious eyes. One night, after a secret rendezvous, Femi expresses his regret. "I wish everything was different," he sighs, wishing Funmi had never married his uncle. "Does that mean you love me?" Funmi asks. "Yes," Femi admits. Funmi echoes his sentiment, wishing she could have chosen the man she loved. The affair poisons Funmi's already strained marriage. That night, back in bed with Odun, she actively rejects his gentle attempts at intimacy, turning away, pushing his hand off her. Odun, confused and hurt, eventually gives up, respecting her boundaries, even in rejection. This kind man is utterly clueless about the betrayal happening under his own roof. The affair hits a snag. Funmi goes to the workshop for her usual tryst, but hears sounds from within. Moans, rhythmic thuds. Peeking through a crack, she sees Femi and his girlfriend, Banka, locked in passionate intimacy. Heartbroken and enraged, Funmi flees. Days later, Femi finds her sulking on the farm. She confronts him, furious. "Banke, of all the people, Banke." Femi, perhaps defensively, perhaps callously, dismisses her anger. "You are just jealous over Banke," he scoffs. "You are the married one here and I'm single." This ignites Funmi's fury. "I am married, right? You know I don't love him. I don't want him. The boy I'm in love with is too stupid to see that." Femi realizes the depth of her feelings. "You mean you love me?" he asks, reaching for her. Funmi pushes him away. "Leave me alone." "I'm married," she cries, walking away, leaving Femi strangely thrilled by her declaration of love. Meanwhile, village life continues. Morenike, in her role as priestess, performs a traditional river ritual to determine a baby's paternity. If the river spirit rejects the child is deemed a bastard, and the mother faces death by burning. Funmi watches, horrified by the brutal custom, perhaps imagining her own fate if her secret is discovered. Banke returns to the workshop, ecstatic. A modeling agency in Lagos has accepted her photos and invited her for a meeting, even sending transport money. Femi congratulates her, but his tone is distant. When she talks about returning for him, he gently breaks up with her. "Nobody makes it out of this town," he says, sadly. "You don't have to come back. I am only setting you free." He paints a picture of their incompatible futures. Her, an international model. Him, a local woodcarver. Heartbroken, Banke accepts his decision, gives him one last kiss, and leaves for the night, bus to Lagos. As soon as Banke is gone, Funmi arrives at the workshop. Femi tells her he just broke up with Banke. Funmi barely reacts before dropping her own bombshell. There's trouble? I think I'm pregnant. Femi panics. Ah, Funmi. No, me. I'm dead. He's like a father to me. Funmi coldly reminds him, I'm the one pregnant here. Femi suggests pinning it on Odun, but Funmi reveals they haven't been intimate in a long time. His mind races. Elope. Abort? Funmi refuses to abort. No. This baby was made with love. I choose you, and I choose to keep this baby. With options dwindling, Funmi proposes the unthinkable. The old man has to go. Femi is horrified. Go where? Are you mad? We can't kill him. He's a good man. Funmi's resentment boils over. Good to who? He married me without giving me an option. I was passed off like property in exchange for land. She reminds Femi of the potent poison Morenique showed her, the one that can stop a beating heart. She manipulates him, appealing to his love for her. You say you love me, Femi, she whispers, placing his hand on her belly. Torn between his conscience and his love for Funmi, Femi makes a devastating choice. He steals the poison for her. The next morning, Funmi executes her plan with chilling precision. Odun wakes up to the sound of her singing sweetly in the kitchen, something she's never done before. He finds her preparing his favorite meal, Amala. She's radiant, attentive, almost loving. Odun is overjoyed, believing he has finally won her heart. It's like I'm dreaming, he says happily. Did somebody exchange my wife overnight? Funmi laughs, playing the part. I just finally see how lucky I am to have a husband that is kind and so loving. She serves him the poisoned meal. He eats heartily, complimenting her cooking, completely unaware he's consuming his own death warrant. After eating, he heads to the farm. While addressing his workers, the poison takes effect. He clutches his chest, gasps in pain, collapses, and dies on the spot. Femi is racked with guilt. We've killed him, he whispers, horrified. But Funmi is pragmatic, already planning their next move. What we've done cannot be undone, she tells him. She knows the family elders will meet to decide her fate and the inheritance. Since Odun had no son, tradition dictates his property passes to the closest male relative. Femi, she instructs him, you must claim me. At least in that way, we can be together legally. Morenique is devastated by Odun's sudden death, her intuition screaming foul play. He wasn't sick, she tells Funmi, her eyes filled with suspicion. Somebody killed him. Funmi denies any involvement, but Morenique sees through her. A bitter argument erupts, with Funmi accusing Morenique of killing Odun's first wife and children years ago out of jealousy. Morenique slaps her hard. That night, Morenique takes Odun's talking drum to the river, beating it furiously, calling on his spirit for vengeance against his killer. The family elders convene. They confirm Femi will inherit everything. They then ask Funmi if she wishes to return to her family or stay. Funmi, playing the grieving widow, announces she is pregnant with Odun's child and wishes to raise it within his family. Morenique gasps, shocked. The elders, delighted at the prospect of an heir, turn to Femi. He confirms he will raise his uncle's child and, as tradition allows, take Funmi as his wife. Morenique is powerless to object in front of the elders. She confronts Femi later, forbidding the marriage. Over my dead body, she declares. Femi defies her, arguing it's tradition and his duty. He cruelly accuses her of loving Odun more than her own son or even her late husband. Who knows what was going on between the two of you? He sneers. He grabs his bags and leaves her house, ignoring her curses. Femi and Funmi move into Odun's house, now legally husband and wife. Their crime seemingly successful. Funmi revels in her newfound status, finally married to the man she desired. Femi, however, remains haunted by guilt and the cold reception they receive from the villagers and farm workers, who clearly disapprove. Moreniki's grief takes a strange turn. She begins to believe Odun has reincarnated as the baby in Funmi's womb. She kneels before Funmi, worshipping the unborn child, calling it my husband. This delusion intensifies. One night, when Funmi suffers severe pregnancy cramps, Moreniki uses Odun's talking drum, and the sound instantly soothes the baby, reinforcing her belief. She becomes obsessively devoted to Funmi and the reincarnated Odun she carries. Just as Femi and Funmi settle into their uneasy life, Banke returns from Lagos. She's transformed, confident, stylish, and featured in a magazine. Her reappearance throws Femi and Funmi's relationship into turmoil. Banke makes it clear she's back for Femi. You know exactly why I'm here, she tells him suggestively when Funmi isn't looking. They don't make men like you in Lagos. They share a secret kiss, reigniting their old flame. Femi arranges to meet her at his workshop later that night. Funmi, however, is no fool. When Femi sneaks out of bed, she pretends to be asleep, but knows exactly where he's going. The next morning, Femi wakes up in their bed and sees a wooden head, busty carved, sitting on the nightstand, a piece he knows was in his workshop the night before. Funmi enters, feigning innocence. Did you take it from my workshop? Femi demands. Funmi laughs mockingly. Oh, you went to your workshop? What time was that? For fresh air? She throws his excuse back in his face. Why don't you ask your girlfriend? Maybe she put it there. Funmi then burns the maternity clothes Banke gifted her, a clear declaration of war. The rivalry escalates. Funmi confronts Banke at Moreniki's house, accusing her of sleeping with Femi. The argument turns vicious, with Banke calling Funmi an ugly village girl. Funmi slaps her. Funmi's mother visits, advising her daughter to use juju to tie Femi down and secure her position. Funmi obtains a powerful control charm from a herbalist, planning to use it on Femi, just as she used poison on Odun. That evening, Femi returns home, filled with remorse and confusion after his infidelity. Funmi tries to offer him food laced with the charm, but he refuses, sensing something is wrong. He confronts her about Odun's murder. You hated your husband. He was a good man, and yet you killed him. Funmi corrects him. We killed him. We did it together. Femi breaks down. I can't sleep at night. He's in my dreams. He's in my thoughts. He's even in your stomach. Just then, Banke bursts in, having overheard everything. You monster! You killed him. Funmi reacts instantly, grabbing a piece of wood and striking Banke hard on the head. Banke collapses, dead. Femi is horrified. You killed her! Funmi justifies her action. She had to go. Perhaps she will speak out. That night they dispose of Banke's body in the river. The second murder shatters Femi completely. He withdraws, consumed by guilt, refusing to eat Funmi's food or touch her. Funmi, realizing she's losing him and fearing exposure, decides to use the control charm. She prepares his meal, mixing the potent powder into his favorite swallow. Femi, lost in despair, sits down to eat, unaware of the new danger. As he eats, tears streaming down his face, Funmi watches, waiting for the charm to take effect. Suddenly, Femi starts coughing violently. The charm isn't working as intended. It seems to be poisoning him. He realizes what she's done. "What did you put inside my food?" he gasps. As he collapses, Morenike wakes from a nightmare, instinctively knowing her son is in danger. Femi, with his last breath, understands Funmi's treachery. "We must go together," he rasps, grabbing her neck and squeezing with all his remaining strength. Just as Morenike busts through the door, Femi and Funmi collapse together, both dead. Morenike rushes to her son, then touches Funmi's stomach. Sensing the unborn child is also gone, she lets out a heart-wrenching scream as the screen fades to black. And that, my people, is the tragic end of The Farmer's Bride. A story that started with forced tradition ended in a cycle of betrayal, murder, and mutual destruction. Funmi got the man she wanted, but lost her soul in the process. Femi, caught between guilt and desire, paid the ultimate price. Even the innocent, like Odun and Banke, were swept away by the darkness. Morenike, who tried to protect her family with herbs and spirits, is left with nothing but grief. It's a powerful cautionary tale about the destructive nature of obsession and the heavy consequences of breaking sacred bonds. What did you think of this ending? Was justice served, or was it just pure tragedy? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. If this recap gripped you, please hit that like button. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to Naija Films Recap and ring that notification bell for more intense Nollywood breakdowns. Until next time, this is Naija Films Recap. Stay blessed.